My name is Cam, and welcome to Anomaly. If you've been to the channel before, welcome. Um, I promise. Well, I'm gonna try. I promise I'm gonna stop changing the name to this channel. I probably change the name to this channel probably like at least 2 or 3 times. I might change it one more time, but for now, we're gonna call it Anomaly. So if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. And if you've been before, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about my payday routine. And so when you get your paycheck, either every 2 weeks or bi-monthly, there's a lot to consider, right? So you want to have a plan. And let's back up. So a lot of people are going to tell you to do a lot of different things. A lot of people online, a lot of people who've never worked in finance. You can watch literally 10 different videos and 10 different people from 10 different videos to give you 10 different ways to do it. Now that's true. It's not just one way to do something. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Yeah, when you're new, it can be a little overwhelming. So I wanted this channel to be a channel where we could talk about finance. We can add some context to things. We can educate people on the right way to do things, um, and that way we all grow together. Now, this channel is going to be a combination of finance, sales, and music. I know, kind of random. Why would you add music and finance and sales? I also am a musician. I love music, so I'm going to be talking about that on the channel as well. Not really exactly sure how I'm going to do it. This channel is really just getting started, but my plan is to upload weekly. And also, if you guys have any suggestions or anything you want me to talk about, please leave me a comment in regard to what y'all want me to talk about, so I can make sure that I am serving the community and we grow from there. So yeah, let's get started. So my payday routine. Okay. So a lot of people will tell you to pay yourself first. And I did read a book where it did say to pay yourself first, and I did find that pretty interesting. And there's nothing wrong with paying yourself first, but it depends on where you are. Like, for example, if you're someone who normally after you pay your bills, you you have leftover money after you pay your bills on a bi-weekly or monthly basis, but for some reason you just maybe have a spending problem. Um, or maybe you're just not good at saving, maybe you're just not good at investing. For some reason, maybe you intend to save, you intend to invest, you intend to do other things with your money, but you just are just not good at that. And you end up spending the money on shopping, entertainment, travel, whatever the case is. If you're that kind of person who does have money left over at the end of the month after you pay all your bills, then yeah, you should focus on, well, one, giving, but two, saving. You should focus on saving. You should put saving as one of your main priorities, and you should pay yourself first. So your focus should be on, okay, I know that I have X amount of dollars at the end of the month, always. I need to stop going out. I need to stop spending money on frivolous stuff that I don't really need. I am going to now pay myself first. So, practical steps. What does that look like? You get a budget, you make yourself a budget. I recommend writing everything down. Um, I'm more of an electronic guy, so I have Excel spreadsheet. If you don't have Excel, you can use Google Sheets. It's free. Um, but you want to write everything down, whether you're a pen and pad guy, girl, or you just do everything electronically. I do everything electronically, but you're gonna write down all of your bills. So also your mortgage, your rent, your utilities, um, um, gas, electric. internet, phone, car insurance, home insurance, whatever the case is, you're going to write everything down. And then, based off of how much you have left over, you're going to create a plan. Um, and that plan could look like really whatever you want it to look like. But the focus is starting on saving, even if it's just 10, 10 bucks a paycheck, $5 a paycheck. The number at that point doesn't necessarily really matter as long as you're making progress. And so for that person, it's saving. If you're not used to saving and now you save 10 bucks a month, you just saved 10 bucks a month when before you wasn't doing anything. So that's something you should work towards. Short term or long term goal, at least for saving, should be at least 3 to 6 months of emergency funds. You should have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency funds. Then some people say, well, what is 3 to 6 months of emergency funds? So, what that looks like is you calculate all your bills for the month. So, again, mortgage, rent, utilities, car insurance, groceries, gas, tolls, everything that you spend on bills for a month. Whatever that number is, you multiply that times six. Whatever that figure is, that is the goal. That is the amount of cash you're looking to save. So you total up all your bills for 1 month. Whatever that number is, you multiply that number times six. That way, you have 6 months of bills and expenses saved up for a rainy day. If you go through a situation where you lose your job, you get hurt, injured, you can't work, or whatever the case is, um, it's always a good idea to have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency funds. I tend to lean more on the 6 month mark. So I like to have at least 6 months of emergency funds. Um, but you probably shouldn't have any less than 3 months. And if you don't have that right now, that's okay. You want to just at least start working towards that. My bad, yeah. I'm trying to figure out this lighting. One day I'll get it together. But right now, look, I mean, I know I'm light skinned. I look crazy right now. All right. Like a cartoon character. For people in those positions, it makes sense to pay yourself. And that's a really, really good, effective way for you to just learn how to start saving. But like I said, write everything down. You need to write everything down. And if you're going to start paying yourself first, you need to put you at the top. So a lot of people have the problem. Well, Cam, my problem is not that I pay all my bills at the end of the month and then I have excess left over and I don't know how to save. My problem is, well, after I pay all my bills, I actually have a deficit. Like I know I need more money. So that's when you have to strategize a little bit more. So just going back to the basics, you still want to write everything down. You also want to go through your bank statements and your credit card statements. You really want to take some time to just analyze where you actually spend your money. Because what I find is that we have a general idea of what we spend money on, but we don't really know. So after you go through your bank statements and your credit card statements, you really get a feel for how much money is actually going into the movies, going into alcohol, going into shopping, going into all these different things that you don't really need. That is the first place to start. What can you cut out in regards to areas that you're overspending that you don't know, but you won't know unless you take the time to go and go through your statements, go through your credit card statements, and just have that honest conversation with yourself. I'm spending $300 a weekend on going out to eat, food, drinks, all that stuff. Do I really need to spend that money? Can I spend that money somewhere else? Can I spend that money paying off debt? You know, those are the kind of conversations and those things that really help people make a substantial change in their life and be able to dig themselves out of debt and be able to get ahead. Um, and then after that, you can also pick up side jobs. There's a lot of I know a lot of people that have started doing DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, um, TaskRabbit, just things like that to just make some extra money in their spare time or maybe on the weekends. Um, I know a lot of people that do that. They make some decent money. They're able to pay off their debt faster, and for them, that was the only change they needed to make. There's a lot of different things you can do. Um, whether you're looking for a new job, maybe you're looking for a new job with more pay. Um, you know, back in my day, like I'm that old. Back I remember a while back where you went to a company, you stayed at that company for years and years and years and years and years. Now it's a little bit more competitive, and if you're able to find a job that can pay you more, now this is not an advocacy for you to leave your job, but if you're able to find something that can pay you more and put you can highlight your skill set more in an area where you can also make more, that's something to also consider, you know? So that's something you really want to think about. Those areas you can start, and you may be able to see some real change just by incorporating some of those things. When it comes to getting your paycheck, automation is key. So the easiest way that I save and use automation is direct deposit. I think a lot of people have heard of direct deposit, know what it is, but aren't really using it that effectively. So, direct deposit is obviously you give your employer your bank account, a routing number, and then you get paid, and then that money automatically goes into that account. It may not be a bad idea to have multiple accounts for multiple reasons. Like, for example, if you're saving for a new home, or just a rainy day or whatever the case is, whatever you're saving for. There's nothing wrong with having another account used just for that. So, like for example, if you have a separate account, say you're saving for a house, or you have a separate account just for that, you have your regular checking account, and now you have this rainy day or home savings account. Whatever you can afford on a bi-weekly or bi-monthly, whatever you can afford on a bi-weekly basis or whenever you're paid, there's nothing wrong with having a certain dollar amount or a certain percentage go to just that account just for that reason. That way it takes all of the work out of it. You don't have to get your check and then pay and then do this and then do that and then figure out, okay, well, how much I have left over, how much can I afford to put in that account this month. It just is automatically done for you. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. It's just done for you. There's nothing wrong with having separate accounts open for separate reasons. Say you're saving for a car, it'd be the same thing. That way, by the time you get your check, the saving is already done. And now the money that you got, you can pay your bills or whatever that you need to do with it. But the saving is already done. Really similar to what it's like, um, really similar to what it's like saving for your 401k. 401k is a retirement plan. It's an employer sponsored retirement plan that a lot of employers will offer employees to save for retirement. The way it works is you put in money and the employer will also put in money as well. What they do is they call it a match. They'll match what you put in up to a certain percentage. However, there are some nuances that come with that. Some employer may say, hey, we will match after your first year of employment. So you may notice if you're contributing to your 401k, you just started, I'm contributing, And then after that year or whatever their time period of when they start matching, you'll notice it starts to build faster and you get that compounding interest faster because they're now adding money and they're matching what you put in. So if you say, okay, 3% of my paycheck each time I get paid, 3% automatically goes in the 401k. They may say, okay, well, after a year of employment, we will match up to 6% or whatever the case is. So you put in 3%, month 7, month 8, month 9, 3%, 3%. Then you hit a year, you put in 3%, they put in 3%. Because remember, they said up to 6% or whatever it is. So they will match you up to a certain percentage. One thing you got to be mindful of is when you vest. And that's just a fancy schmancy finance word for when you, the employee, takes ownership of those funds, of that money. So, for example, they say we have a 5-year vesting period. What they're saying is after you're employed here for 5 years, you can now take ownership of all of these assets, even what we put in. So, say for example, you leave they say a 5-year vesting period, but you leave year 3 and you go to another employer. What happens is all the money that you contributed, you get that. They're not going to take that money. So all the money you put in, you get that. But all the money that they put in, that they matched, that stays with the company. You leave anytime before then, you still get what you contributed, just not what they matched. So um, the vesting period is important, especially considering what the period is and how long you've been there. Like if they say 5 years and you've been with the company for 4 years and 10 months and you're looking for new jobs, might be something you might want to consider staying a little longer, you know, especially 5 years. If you've been contributing to the 401k the entire time, you might have a good pile saved up. And a lot of people ask, well, Cam, how much should I put in my 401k? And that's going to depend. A good rule of thumb is to put whatever percentage, at least what they match, because that's free money. Especially if you plan on staying for as long as the duration of the vesting period. That's literally free money. So if you can afford to contribute at least what they match, you should put in at least what they match. But that's it, guys. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. Like I said, leave a comment of any questions or any topics you want to see covered. I want to make sure that I'm serving the community. So leave me some comments with topics you want to see me talk about. Maybe some terms in finance that don't really make a lot of sense. And yeah, happy to break all that stuff down for you guys. And I will start uploading a lot more. I thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.